G'day new starters. Well, here we are again. Today's Mother's Day, and it is certainly my desire to wish all of the mothers that might view this a very special day, reflective of how much those whom you give your love to love you in return. This past week I had a chance to sit with an individual that I would call a new friend. And we were talking about numbers of different things, but one of the issues that came up in that conversation was regarding those things in our life that most get in the way of us becoming what we can become. And this morning when I got up and I was thinking about Mother's Day, those two ideas kind of came together. Let me tell you a little story that will help to bring those things together. This is one of my family's folklore stories, and it happened many years ago when we were small children. We had gone away for a holiday for a number of weeks, and we stopped at the Jenolan Caves in New South Wales. And when we went into the caves, it was a beautiful day. It was midwinter, and the air was crisp and cool, but it was just a beautiful day. And I remember as a small child in those caves being absolutely overwhelmed by the sense that this was a strange and wonderful world that we had entered. Well, when we left the caves, it got even more amazing because it had started to snow, which was entirely unpredicted, at least as far as my memory recollects. To get out of the caves, there was a road going up the hill, and I don't recall why, but I've got a feeling it's not relevant. But we were one of the last cars to leave, and certainly there wasn't a lot of traffic around us. And as we started to move back up that hill, the car began to slide in the mud that was created by the snow, and it got increasingly closer to the edge of the road, and it was very, very close to slipping off the road. And I remember that my mother got out of the car, and as my father rode the clutch and drove the car, she kept on pushing on the side of the vehicle that was closest to the edge and moving it back onto the road. And while I do recall my brother being quite scared in those settings, I don't recall personally any fear at all. And I'm very confident the reason I didn't think that way was because in the context of my family, I was very, very confident that between my mother and my father, they were able to take care of that situation. Small children can have that perspective of their parents being almost godlike. And I suspect that it was something in that area that was impacting me that day. I love my parents, and I think they're incredible people. And in that setting, the fact that we were a family was all it took in order for me to feel comfortable. Well, there's the key. There's the key to overcoming one of those things that can limit us. In fact, the thing that I think limits us more than anything else is fear. Not the kind of fear that you experience as you're slipping off the side of the road, a fear of immediate danger. That's a very, very legitimate fear. No, it's the other kind of fear. The fear that we have when we're in relationships and we're scared that we're going to be hurt in that relationship. It may be very, very deep within us, but it causes us to keep barriers between ourselves and the other. And what I remember from that story is the feeling safe even in a very dangerous situation. See, the love of the family overcame any sense of fear that I might have in that situation. And that is what love does. Love counteracts fear. And here's the connection. In order to be in a relationship with someone, I need to be vulnerable if I'm going to go deep in that relationship. Where I have fear of being emotionally hurt, within the context of a relationship, I will be less vulnerable. That failure to be vulnerable limits the power of the relationship, or the extent to which the relationship can experience the full dynamic that it may have. And so, but the more I allow myself to love, the more it overcomes the fear, and the more vulnerable I'm able to be. And the more vulnerable I'm able to be, the more I'm able to love. And the more I love, the more I overcome fear. And the truth is, the more we experience love, even when we do get hurt in relationships, we are able to resist the urge to protect ourselves against that kind of pain, because we recognize how much more powerful love is. And so here on this Mother's Day, so filled with love, I want to challenge you to think about the number of times in your life that you might allow fear to limit the power of your relationship. There's a wonderful verse in the Bible that is incredibly powerful. It's found in the first epistle of John. And there in the first epistle of John, John says, perfect love casts out fear. And he's right, you know. Have a good week.